She stormed into my driveway, waving a $5,000 fine like she owned the entire neighborhood. But the moment my lawyer arrived, her face went pale, and her carefully constructed lies began to crumble instantly. I had moved into this quiet suburban neighborhood, expecting peace, privacy, and a fresh start. A nice home, friendly neighbors, and a clean, orderly street. What more could I ask for? But I quickly realized that one person controlled everything here, and her name carried a warning. The HOA president, Karen. Everyone tiptoed around her. Park a little crooked? She'd find you. Trash bin out a minute too late? Another fine. Even Halloween decorations required approval. This woman thrived on enforcing control, and I was about to become her next target. It all began with my mailbox. Yes, my mailbox. I swapped the old, rusty box for a sleek black steel one. Nothing flashy. But the moment she saw it, she marched over like a general leading an army. She pointed at my home and shouted, "You are in violation of HOA Code Section 8, unapproved modifications." I calmly explained that the community guidelines allowed black mailboxes, but she ignored me. She snapped photos, scribbled notes, and stormed off as if she had caught me committing a federal crime. I laughed it off. Big mistake. 2 days later, I received a letter, a $5,000 fine for property alterations without authorization. There was a deadline. Pay within 7 days or face legal action. I couldn't believe it. $5,000 over a mailbox? I went to speak with her politely. She stood on her porch, arms crossed like a war declaration. "I'm not changing the mailbox," I said. She smirked. "You'll regret that." From that moment, she monitored me like a hawk. I caught her lurking in my yard, measuring grass height, photographing my car, even counting how long guests stayed. Harassment. But the real showdown came one golden evening on the street. She marched toward me, waving a stack of papers. A final notice. $5,000 plus late fees. Failure to comply would result in foreclosure filings. Foreclosure over a mailbox. My blood boiled. I wasn't alone. My friend Daniel stood beside me silently, watching the chaos unfold. Karen assumed he was just another neighbor. She screamed louder and louder, barking violations like commands, drawing everyone's attention. Her face twisted with rage. Then Daniel stepped forward, adjusted his suit, and calmly said, "Ma'am, I'm his attorney, and you just illegally threatened foreclosure without due process. That's a criminal offense if documented." Karen froze. Her mouth opened, but no sound came out. Confidence drained instantly. For the first time, she was afraid. And she had no idea this was only the beginning. She stood frozen in the middle of the street, clutching her stack of bogus violation papers as if they were burning her hands. The entire neighborhood watched her crumble. Daniel didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. He just stared at her like a judge awaiting confession. "You issued a foreclosure threat without a board vote, without due process, and without prior mediation," he continued. "That's 3 violations of state HOA law." Her lips trembled. I was just enforcing community guidelines," she stammered. Daniel shook his head. "No, you abused your position, and now you're liable." The word hit her like a punch. She shifted from dictator to desperate. "We can discuss this privately," she whispered. Daniel stepped closer. "There's nothing to discuss. Cease all fines. Remove all charges. Provide a written apology within 24 hours. If not, my client will file for harassment, unlawful threats, and emotional damages." Her heartbeat seemed audible from where I stood. Slowly, Karen backed away, her authority collapsing like a house of cards. She glanced at the neighbors, expecting support, but none came, not a single person. Everyone had been waiting for someone to stand up. She wasn't in control. She walked away, clutching her useless papers. But we weren't done. Daniel looked at me. "We're filing our own report tonight. She's been abusing residents here for years." That night, word spread like wildfire. Neighbors quietly knocked on my door one by one, telling stories of Karen sneaking into backyards, issuing surprise fines, threatening elderly residents, even yelling at kids on scooters. People had lived in fear, but now they had hope. The next morning, Karen arrived with a forced smile, holding an envelope. Inside, A signed apology, notice voiding the $5,000 fine, and confirmation of no violations on my property. She couldn't make eye contact. But Daniel wasn't done. He filed a formal complaint with the state HOA Regulatory Board, submitting photos, audio recordings, unlawful fines, and witness statements. Karen's reign unraveled fast. 3 weeks later, the board held a surprise meeting. Karen walked in confident, walked out fired, permanently removed and banned from HOA authority forever. The neighborhood cheered. Lawn chairs lined the streets as residents watched her humiliation. For the first time, the street felt peaceful. Kids played. Neighbors smiled. Karen avoided everyone, never daring more than polite wave. Her kingdom was gone, and it all took was one lawyer who refused to back down. Subscribe for more real-life HOA showdowns. The next story hits even harder.